Hello, I'm Rodger Tschanz from the University of Guelph. Joining me today to talk about new varieties from the Netherlands is Andre Leendertse of Enza. Andre is technical support for North America for Enza, and welcome, Andre. What do you have
Thank
to
you.
talk about today?
Well, we'll have some exciting news again, as usual, with new material in the different vegetable products that we have that will come on to the market as commercial varieties again. And I'd like to share some of my thoughts and the news that is coming with it to you.
Oh, very good.
You might know Enza is a company that has been around for 80 years, starting in a small town north of Amsterdam as a mom and pop shop, and grew into a large company, one of the main seed suppliers to the world market. And in our particular case, where I'm involved in is the vegetable crops in the high-tech greenhouses, such as tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and lettuce. And I would like to share some of the new varieties that came on the market this year, last year, and hopefully next year as well. We've done extensive trials of our new varieties, and they seem very compatible and very good to be grown in British Columbia, Ontario, and other areas in North America. So the first one that I would like to share with you is it's called now Makuba. It used to be, we called it when we were still trialing it, as the 370. That's a red pepper variety. It's very strong. It's strong and reliable throughout the season. It's a nice size for the Ontario market especially, and it has a good list of resistance, which is one of the main things what we're looking for if we're testing new varieties. So it's TM2, it's TSW, and mildew resistance as well. So it's a strong variety with a large size all throughout the season. We noticed in the trials that we've done, and also what we shared with the market, is that it's especially very popular in the retail area. It has an amazing shelf life, a good flavor, and a good look on the shelf as well. So I think it would be a good variety for you either to try out, or even there are some companies that are going to have this as their main variety already next season. So I'm very excited about this one. The next one that you might know already, because it's been around now for 2 years, but has done extremely well throughout the season this year. That's Moreno. Moreno is a variety that is TM3. It seems to be very strong against mildew as well, but we cannot call it mildew resistance, but it's strong against it. It's an amazing pepper that has some features that I think might be very helpful in either Ontario or British Columbia, or even in between. It's one of the fastest varieties on the market right now. It has a beautiful shine and color to it all year. A beautiful shaped pepper as well, and it's not super tall, so it's a nice variety to work with. Labor-wise, it's outstanding if it comes to shelf life as well, and easy to work with. Because of its speed, especially at this early stage, you'll be early on the market with this one. Compared to, let's say, the standards that are around in the industry now, I would say it's probably a week earlier than anything else. I've seen trials where this one was picked at the first set already before the rest started picking. So I think it will help you to offset some of the flushing that the peppers tend to have as well. And it will give you a good result with a very high production. So the next one I'd like to talk about is Florate. Florate is our new yellow variety that we've done as before as well, extensive trials this year in Ontario and in British Columbia, where it really jumped out in consistency of color, shape, and production especially. It's a very high producing, strong variety. It sets really easy at the start of the season, and throughout the season it's very consistent in its shape and color. Especially color seems to be an important part of the yellow varieties, because sometimes people are struggling with some orange color in the middle of the summer. This one will remain nice and bright yellow throughout the season. It's TM3 and TSW resistance, so in that sense, it's covered most of the bases that we need to cover throughout the season if it comes to a resistance package. The next one is probably the most well-known in the industry because it became very quickly already the standard, but I'd like to pick it up as well as one that I would like to present to you. That's Originale. Originale is our new orange variety. Same as what I said earlier with the Moreno in the red, the Florate in the yellow. This one is also a very fast variety. It's easy to set in the start of the season. It will remain a very good, marketable product throughout the season. It's strong against all the things that we tend to have issues with throughout the season, such as pitting, blossom anthrop, other things that we could think of. It's also TM3 and TSW resistance, so it's covered in that department as well. And it's a nice medium or shorter size length plant. So it's not tall at all. It's easy to work in, and it has a nice, consistent, not too big, but definitely not too small of a variety, and a beautiful, bright orange color. So these are basically the four new varieties that we can present to you in the three different colors in the peppers. I think we're proud to say that we're one of the leading companies in the pepper business, and we tend to work hard to remain a competitive company in the future as well, where our R&D department is tirelessly working hard to come up with new varieties every year. So that's the pepper side of things. I'd like to move on to cucumber varieties. We've had extensive trials as well this year in long English cucumbers for high-tech greenhouses in Canada with some good success. Our new variety, which was the number 2353, is now named De Vries. De Vries is a very easy variety to work in. So for labor, for the high wire, it's a very consistent and open and strong variety. So that'll help in the labor department, which is something that we all know that there's always pressure on to keep to look for varieties that are easy on the labor. This one has we found that this one is very high resistant against CGMV and also mildew. It's a very reliable variety in that department. It's a nice and robust and compact growing variety, so it's not too tall, and it has beautiful fruit. It can be grown in a lid crop in the wintertime, high wire, and in the summertime as well. If length is not the most important thing if it comes to the fruit length, it will also be a very competitive variety at the early stage of the year. So spring in the springtime, it can also be used very well. It needs to be said that it's more of a 29 to 32 centimeter fruit when you grow it earlier in the season. Other times in the year, either summertime or lit crops in the winter, it is just fine to get the standards for your size in the long English cucumber department. So the next variety I'd like to share with you is a new mini cucumber variety. It used to be the 2326, you might be familiar with. It's now called Annalisa. Annalisa is same as the previous one I talked about. Is high resistance, so full resistance of CGMV, and also high resistance of mildew. It's a very nice open variety. I think you can grow it with a higher density, which will give you more chance and more likeliness of high production. It's a nice open variety, which also means that it's easy on labor, nice consistent shape. The feedback that I get out of from growers in the market is that it's a good flavor as well, which seems to be very important for mini cucumbers as well. The shape is consistent. It's a nice regular shape, a nice straight cucumber. So I think this could be definitely be a next step up in production and in quality moving forward for the mini cucumber business. And then the last one is I'm very pleased about to announce as well is our new TOV variety. We've been all over the world. We've been doing lots of trials with this, and most growers seem to really taken a liking to it. The number used to be 1599, which has been trialed now for 2 years and seems to be expanding in larger areas. We've been looking for a variety that meets the specific demands from the market if it comes to the way it's grown. And of course, production is very important. And we think we found it. I forgot to say it, but it's Extensa is now the new name that we named it. It's a beautiful cluster, seems to fit very well in the box. It's very high producing. It's not tall. It's a nice compact plant, which helps in for labor as well, and very consistent in its shape and its size throughout the season. It is very likely that this could be a strong contender in the standard market for TUV. And I have a feeling that we hit a home run on this one. I would like to put this one forward as a really good contender in the market. It also, for the purposes of organic grown produce, this could actually have an added value as well, because it is a full resistance to nematode as well, which is helpful in cases of organic growth. That leads me to one of the last things I'd like to share with you is that Enza is known for its strong and well-suited varieties in the market, and our daughter company, which we are very proud of, is Vitalis, and Vitalis is specifically aimed towards the organic market. And most of all the varieties that I presented to you are also available as organic seeds, so fully organically grown and produced, and will be available to you. And I would say go to our website and check out the names that are in your area presented, and contact us whenever you need to or want to, and we'll provide you with all the more information, and we'll answer questions that you have, whatever the question might be. And I hope that this will give you some clarity and some more information on the things that we think are very excited for our vegetable market for the coming season. Thank you for the time spending with me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us at the Greenhouse Conference, Andre. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Have a great year. Okay.
You too.